Good day everyone, and today we have Xiaopeng G6. It's a very fresh model which appeared only about half year ago, and it entered the market with very energetic sales on the level of about 8,000 units per month, which is extremely good for the overcrowded middle-sized electric SUV segment in China. Today the sales are not so good, the car being ordered on the level of about 1,000 to 2,000 units per month, and I assume this is connected with insane quantity of new models on the Chinese market and the price wars, because every new model, every new version which comes out is cheaper and cheaper. Xiaopeng is a young company and they started to build cars in about 2018, and they even didn't have own production facilities at those times, and they took a lot from other car manufacturers, and even Elon Musk accused them in stealing technologies from Tesla, and this is actually partially true. They took a lot of technologies and patents from Tesla. Nevertheless, at those times Xiaopeng models didn't look like Tesla at all. They were much cheaper and they looked more like petrol to electricity conversion, despite not being petrol to electricity conversion, but G3 really looked like a petrol car. This is totally different. This car has the shape of Tesla Model Y, has the size of Tesla Model Y, has the minimalistic idea of design of interior and the exterior as the Model Y, has the production process very close to Tesla Model Y, as the front part and rear part are the huge body parts casted on the huge presses, same what Tesla Model Y produced with their gigapress at their gigafactories. And of course it makes the production much faster, the body much more rigid and probably more safe, and at the same time I assume cheaper. And also this car has very advanced autopilot system also as a Tesla Model Y, and even the suspension is also similar. In front we have the double wishbone suspension, exactly same as Tesla Model Y. At the same time this car is more spacious inside. In my opinion it has much better driving habits, and also in my opinion the interior finishing is better. The price now is not much cheaper than Tesla, it's only about 15 to 20% cheaper than Model Y in the appropriate version. So let's check this car in detail. Today we will make a test drive and I will tell you about its technologies and its equipment. The first small revolution of Xiaopeng that they started to use 800-volt platform. This is the marking sticker of the car, and here you see the voltage of the battery. It's 551 volts. Actually, it's quite far from 800 volts, right? Due to the industry standards, any battery which is from 550 to 930 volts is called a 800-volt platform. That one which is lower is a 400 volts platform. So formally this is an 800 volts platform, but it is in the lowest range of 800, as low as possible. Only 2 volts actually distinguish this car from a 400 volt platform. What 800 volts platform gives to you? If you find a proper charging station, this car can charge from 30% to 80% in only about 10 to 15 minutes. But in China, only about 20% of charging stations can do this. Also, the more volts in the system you have, the easier to transfer energy with less losses, especially the less heat losses. So, the higher the voltage, the more effective the car works. The other super technology of Xiaopeng is the branded XNGP autopilot. NGP stands for Navigation Guided Autopilot, and it means that together with the GPS satellites and the radars inside the car and the lidars and the cameras, the car becomes more and more self-driving. And Xiaopeng even cooperates with Didi, the largest taxi operator in China, who also invests in developing of self-driving taxis. And I heard that in 2024 some cities will actually receive the self-driving taxis based on Xiaopeng. XNGP in this car is an optional configuration. Actually, it's a feature of the top version, and it can be easily distinguished by the lidars in the front of the car, and here we do not have them because this is actually a basic version. Nevertheless, the basic version still has the level 2 autopilot with the full-speed automatic cruise control system, with the blind spot monitoring, with the lane keeping assistant and the automatic parking. And the top version featuring XNGP has 2 times more powerful hardware. It is the super chip from NVIDIA Orin X, which has the performance of 503 trillion operations per second, and this car has only 254 trillion operations per second capacity. In terms of size, this car in the upper range of the medium SUV size segment. The length of the car is 4,753 millimeters and the wheelbase is 2,890 millimeters, and the width of the car is higher than many cars in this segment, is 1,920 millimeters. And we can find a lot of aluminum in the construction of this car, in the body structure, and for example, door seals are aluminum, and some panels are also aluminum, such as door panels. They are made of aluminum, but the fenders, the hood, the roof, they all are made of steel, and they unfortunately do not have the zinc underlayer. And when they started producing cars in 2018, they didn't have their own production facilities, but now they have, and the quality of their cars are really perfect. The quality is better than Tesla. All the gaps here, they are perfectly matched, and no difference anywhere at all. And same we can find under the front hood. Here, all the plastic, all the rubber, all the tail light, they are matched perfectly. And unfortunately, as you see, we do not have the front here, and this is a disadvantage compared to Tesla Model Y. In terms of technical characteristics, this car can be a dual motor or single motor, and single motor has 296 horsepower. And actually, when this car appeared on the market, it was the fastest single motor EV car. In top version, it could do from 0 to 100 kilometers in just 5.9 seconds, which is faster than several dual motor electric cars, for example, such as Volkswagen ID.4. But now the Zeekr 001 and Zeekr 007, they are actually faster even with a single motor. And the top version with two motors feature 487 horsepower, and it can do from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.9 seconds. And the batteries here, there are two options. One battery is 66 kilowatt hours and the other battery is 87.5 kilowatt hours. And the smaller battery is actually based on lithium iron phosphate chemistry, and the bigger battery is based on more traditional NMC chemistry. And both batteries are produced by China Aviation Lithium Batteries. It's a huge concern who make batteries, and probably you saw this logo, it's CALB. And to talk about the version of this car, generally we have 5 versions. This is the basic version with small battery and one motor, the top version with same battery and one motor, the basic version with one motor and big battery, and the top version with one motor and big battery, and the four-wheel drive version, which has the only one option of big battery. And there are almost no differences in the equipment between all the versions, to be honest. The major difference is actually in the XNGP driving autopilot, because the equipment, the hardware for XNGP is extremely expensive and you cannot add it as an option to any version. If you want it, you just have to order the more advanced versions. The only way you can distinguish the basic version from the top version is the presence of LiDAR system, which is, as I told before, only with XNGP autopilot. The 19-inch wheels are by default in all versions, and here we have the 20-inch wheels, which is optional, and 18-inch wheels with this body are looking totally not attractive. As the standard equipment of this car is really rich, there is only one optional package for this car, which actually includes the 20-inch wheels with better branded tires and the electric adjustable rear spoiler, which is also not present in this car. And this package actually is quite cheap. It costs only about 1,500 USD in China. The other minor differences between the top version and basic version can be found only in the interior. In the basic version, actually like this car, we have the imitation of leather, and all the top versions have the natural leather on their seats. And everything else will be exactly the same, and the equipment is rich. We have the natural leather on the steering wheel, and all the versions have steering wheel heating. All the versions have seat ventilation and seat heating in the front, but doesn't have any options for the seat for the second row seaters. All the versions have really nice audio system with 18 speakers, and this is a branded Xiaopeng XPENG Opera sound, which is extremely nice. All the versions have multi-layered soundproof glass in the front doors. And the other things I will show you inside. All the versions of this car features the same very huge panoramic sunroof, which cannot be opened. And here we have the central touchscreen, which is 15 inches and it's extremely responsive, extremely fast operating. And despite not having English system here, we still can manage and deal with everything, because everything is very intuitive, logical, and again, fast responsive. But unfortunately, we do not have the CarPlay here. And here we have the wireless charger for mobile phone with cooling, and this place for the mobile phone charger is the best, because you can use it, you can use navigation, or you can use something else, so it's really perfect, and this even for the two phones. The quality of the interior, as for me, is extremely nice, extremely high. there is no any cracking sound when you push here. Maybe even a little bit you have it, but generally there is no. These crates are very beautiful. Everything is quite minimalistic but very friendly and very soft. And here when you see it, the car feels quite massive and solid and rigid. Here you have the box with soft finishing, and unfortunately you don't have the glove box at all, and almost you do not have the physical buttons here. Almost everything is on sensor panels and on central control screen, but at least on the steering wheel you have the real physical buttons. And thank you very much for this, because physical buttons are much more convenient when you're driving a car. And here also the 10-inch small cluster gauge, which shows us such things like a navigation screen, as the consumption and other trip information. And here we go to my favorite part of this car. It's the second row seats. Friends, this is perfect. This is amazingly convenient, amazingly comfortable seats with the totally flat floor, without any tunnel, of course, with the very high position of the seat, which is not so easy to achieve for the electric car manufacturers even in 2024. Because, for example, the BYD Song L, the Zeekr 001, 007, they have this distance much smaller. And here you see it as in a normal petrol car. The floor is extremely low. It's super convenient, and the length of the seat is the seat cushion is quite long. And the most remarkable here is the width between the B pillars. It looks so big that it feels that you can sit here even in 4. It is one of the best second row seats in the car, which is below 5 meters, which I ever remember. And the space over my head, look at it. I'm 178 centimeters tall. I'm sitting behind myself. Here I have about 20 centimeters still available, and here I have also about 20 centimeters still available. This is amazing second row. It's much better than Tesla Model Y, than BYD Song L, than Zeekr 001, and here we have 10 points out of 10. The only disadvantage that actually equipment here is quite poor. We do not have seat heating or seat ventilation or the third zone climate control. We have only Type-C charging port and the deflectors from air conditioning, where we cannot change the temperature. And here we have the armrest, which is also quite simple yet very convenient because it's wide and long. And here we have the cup holders, and that's all. All the versions feature the electric opening of the tailgate with induction opening and position memory. The opening is quite slow, but this is the only disadvantage about the luggage compartment, because it's amazing. It's totally huge, it's totally square shaped, it's very nice finishing with a thick carpet, and the official volume is from 571 liters to 1700 liters when you fold the rear seats. And also the rear seats has the adjustment of the backrest, and here under the floor you have a very huge compartment for also something you can put here. I really like it, and I will show you the measurements of this trunk in the insert. The front suspension is made of aluminum. As you see, the suspension arms are extremely massive. The upper suspension arm is also made of aluminum. Here we see the aluminum construction body of the car, and we do not see good protection from dust and mud for the components on the front subframe. Unfortunately, I don't know why. This is the air conditioning compressor, and all the cars also feature the heat pump in standard equipment. And what I want to say is the ground clearance. The ground clearance here under the front plastic protection of the subframe is 164 millimeters, which is not the best in the segment, but also not so bad. At the same time, under the battery, the ground clearance is much better, is 191 millimeters, so it's almost 20 centimeters, which is very nice, and the protection of the battery and protection of whole undercarriage looks quite perfect.
I know God got me, He got my back. These blessings falling in my lap. I came up, give it all I had. Rep my city, put them on my back. Hit my shots, I don't miss those. Straight up, I'ma let them know I don't fold. Make it look easy and they know there's only one way for us to go. Can't hold me back, I'm going way up. Tell them they can never play us, no. Ain't no stopping me now, no.
Now it's time to perform a test drive of this car. I will try to share with you how well they adjusted the chassis and the steering of this car, how quiet it is, and how well it accelerates. Let's start. Currently, we are driving the basic version with big battery and single motor, and this version, because it has bigger battery, they artificially made the power of motor a little higher, and this exactly car can accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 5.9 seconds, and the version with smaller battery can do it only in 6.5 seconds. And the first impression from driving this car, you feel as it is a perfect car. The suspension adjusted here and the cultural work of the suspension is really 100 points out of 100 points. It's perfectly balanced, it's not soft and not hard. If you have bumpy roads, the car goes through the bumps exactly as you want it to go, and you don't have any bad surprise, no any sound, no any not any malfunctions on the any bumps or any speed limiters. It's a fantastically nice suspension. It's better than BYD Song L, it's better than Zeekr 007, and I have great pleasure from driving this car. And Xiaopeng claims that with small battery and single motor, this car can go 580 kilometers by CLTC cycle, and with bigger battery and single motor, it can go 755 kilometers within the CLTC driving cycle. But I checked the real journalist tests, and in fact, when you drive in the city in normal moderate mode, this car can use about 15 kilowatt hours per hour, which makes battery consumption actually one of the leader in the class. It's really good battery consumption for the car, which weighs about 2 tons. And for example, ID4 in the same conditions will use at least 17 kilowatt hours per hour. So we can say that this car with smaller battery can really drive about 450 kilometers in moderate conditions and in the summer. And with bigger battery, probably it will drive around 550 to 600, which is quite good. The turning radius of this car is extremely small. The angle of the turning of the front wheels is approximately same as the leaders of this class have, like for example ID4 in the rear-wheel drive version. Driving on the parking lot is also quite a pleasure, despite this car is wide. 1920 millimeters, it's actually a wide car, and you also feel it in the parking lots. And what about the acceleration? Some cars, they have very nice numbers of acceleration, but in fact you don't feel it. This car is different. In this car you feel this 5.9 seconds from 0 to 100, and it really feels faster than several four-wheel drive cars which I used to drive before. I must say it's amazing quantity of power, and it's fantastically nice to drive. Here I will show you the acceleration from 0 to 100 in the sport mode. Let's start. From the beginning a little soft, but now a lot of power, and it's already 100. It's very fast, and it's completely unnoticeably fast, because the car is very quiet, and the power acceleration they adjusted very soft and very moderate, and I would say very wise. And if you drive, for example, about like 55, here we have the highest recuperation, so the recuperation is quite tough. Now we are driving like 50, and I will press the accelerator to the floor. Yeah, it's very nice. It's enough for any road situation. For any road situation, and you feel the control of the car, and the brakes are very nice. The ergonomy of everything is generally perfect. Like BYD, they have the ergonomy of the brakes not really perfect, and same as Mercedes, where the brake pedal is extremely tough. And here, this is one of the cars you do not need to get used even for 2 kilometers. You just sit inside, and everything is so organic, everything is so friendly and easy to get used. And the view in the mirrors, and the view in the even in the rear view mirror, in the central rear view mirror, is perfect. And the pillars is not so big as in some modern cars. I think this is one of the best SUV of 2023 in terms of driving. This is one of the examples of cars which drives exactly same perfectly on the bad road, and also gives you fantastic control of the car when you want to do some fast maneuvers, when you want to do some fast turns. Incredible how made this suspension, and how they managed to do it, not being the huge companies such as like Tesla or Volkswagen or BYD. This car, in my opinion, is much more well balanced than, for example, BYD Song L or even Zeekr 001. This car, in my opinion, is much more well balanced than, for example, BYD Song L, which entered the market later than this car. Well, I've been driving this car for several days actually, And I'm sure this car can be called the best electric SUV in China in 2023 and 2024. Yes, some of them are more fast, some of them are better equipped, some of them are 3 times more expensive, and some of them are cheaper, but this car is super well balanced. And my favorite part here is how they made the design of the body so that it is so convenient and spacious inside, which is, for example, not present in BYD Song L, which entered the market actually later. This car is super nice to drive, and I would say the suspension here is like 100 points out of 100 points. And actually the prices are quite moderate. I can show you now the table of prices in China. They are still cheaper than Model Y. So I think that bravo Xiaopeng. They show to the big players such as BYD, such as Zeekr, that rather small company can do something really significant and amazing. That's great. Please share this video, subscribe to this video, and press the like to this video. I will really appreciate this. My name is Dennis, and if you are interested in car reviews or purchasing car from China, please contact us through the information in the description to this video. And have a nice day.